A recent Famitsu article was released which sheds more light on the combat in Armored Core 6, and let me tell you, it's got me really excited. Some of this has already been seen in the gameplay trailer, but there are additional details and mechanics that are revealed. So let's get right into it. The first mechanic that was revealed seems like it's going to be special to certain weapon types, and that's weapon charging. Ogura was asked if the weapon used against the mini-boss in the gameplay video was some sort of charge shot, to which he responded yes it was. And when the weapon is charged, it increases the potency of the weapon, dealing more damage and causing higher stagger or impact buildup. This weapon group is known as linear rifles. However, he later goes on to say that these rifles aren't the only weapon group to have these charge attacks. Melee weapons such as the laser sword is also confirmed to have charge attacks, which changes the laser sword attack patterns. It's unclear right now if there will be additional weapons that have charge attacks, but some of the answers in the way that they're phrased in the article seems to point to yes, so it'll be interesting to see what impacts these charge weapons will have on the combat in Armored Core 6. The next topic is probably what has me the most excited. We already knew from the gameplay videos that combos were going to be a thing in the game. From this clip of the mini-boss fight, we see the player assault boost in, kick the boss, and then follow it up with a charge shot from the linear rifle to extend the combo, and it launches the boss away. As of now, it's unclear how the combos will work. Will they trigger off of staggers? Will they be triggered off of assault boost melee attacks? Either way, Ogura has confirmed our full arsenal will be available for these combos, and we, the players, will be able to create our own combos to form unique playstyles. This means we will have 4 total weapons available to string together attacks, and seeing them all attacking together seamlessly is something I've been excited for in the Armored Core series for a very long time. The only thing I'd like to know a little bit more about in terms of combos is how long they can be extended. If combos are triggered off of staggers, then I wonder if the combo can only last as long as the stagger lasts, which sounds like it's only going to be a second or two, or if it'll be something like each weapon can be used once in the combo extension. So since we have 4 total weapons in our arsenal, you can use each one 4 times to make a 4-hit combo. But speaking of the stagger system, let's talk a little bit more about that because there was some information here. It seems like there will be weapons with damage types specifically catering to the buildup of stagger meter. There are these missiles in the gameplay trailer that leave behind this little electric field, almost like an EMP. This leads me to think that maybe they don't deal a ton of damage to your mech itself, but instead they specialize in building up the stagger bar. In addition, if a weapon has a charge attack, the value of stagger buildup changes depending on if the attack was a normal attack or a charge attack. It also will influence how much damage you're actually dealing to a mech in that case. So like a linear rifle with a full charge is going to do both more damage and stagger buildup, whereas a normal shot will just do the base value. But one thing that was confirmed is that when an enemy has staggered, their energy shield becomes ineffective, meaning staggered enemies will be taking full unmitigated damage. This will result in a pretty massive damage window. A couple questions I would have around this stagger window is, one, will large scale bosses such as the one that we see at the end of the gameplay trailer have a stagger window? Because I don't see the boss having an energy shield to prevent some of the damage. So if that boss is able to be staggered, will they have a damage amp phase? Or is it just an opportunity to deal risk-free damage? And the other question that I would have is related to the PvP side of things. If we are going to be taking a damage increase during this time because our shields are down, I would just be a little worried that this is going to influence the meta to become something like equipping 2 heavy weapons on our back. So like say 2 grenade launchers, and then maybe like 2 machine guns that deal heavy stagger damage. And then the only thing that matters is how quickly you can stagger an enemy and then just blast them with your grenade launchers. I feel like that meta would be kind of boring, and I would just be curious to see how stagger is going to work in PvP. But moving on to this last section, I just want to summarize a couple of the smaller questions related to combat. I think there is no overheat management system from previous Armored Core games such as Nexus, so even though we saw that there was a flamethrower being used in the earlier trailers and that the boss in this last gameplay trailer is using like fire attacks, it won't have any impact on an additional parameter such as heat. And the final thing to note is maybe more related to exploration, I guess, but scanning is no longer a mode shift like it was in Armored Core 5. Instead, a simple button press will send out a scan wave which reveals enemies and can prevent ambushes. The qualities of the scan, such as the distance, will be determined by your head part. But that's going to wrap up the main takeaways from this recent interview. If you'd like to see more Armored Core content in the future, consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date. But this was Goober Troy saying thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.